So I've been taking a look at some USB traffic that is being sent by Preform. And one thing that's kind of interesting here is that since we can watch all of the traffic, we can see what happens when we change the fine tuning of the Z offset. We do know that OpenFL, or rather Preform, only lets you change your Z offset by plus or minus 1 millimeter, which is a problem if you're using a different VAT or if you've drastically altered the springs or anything on the VAT frame. So since we know we can change it to a different value that's greater or less than this -1 offset that Preform lets you have, it seems reasonable to think that we would be able to edit, to like send a command using USB that would tell the offset of the user.ini file to change to a value that's outside of the range of what Preform lets you use. So I'm thinking, let's see what happens. I've already done it, but let's see what happens if we change our offset. So now we're going to positive 1 millimeter from negative 1 millimeter. We'll click apply and we should see the traffic come across over here after we confirm. So there we go. And we're filtering out all of the acknowledgement packets. So we're just seeing the commands and then also some of these responses. So here we've got a command that's telling it to do a write and a read, I think. Now this is different than last time. So the first time I did this, I didn't have a user.ini file on the card, so it did a read and, or a write and a read. Now it's doing 63 and 61, which we can take a look at our list of commands here. A 63 is a write, and a 61 is close SD storage. So I'm thinking that potentially this other number here is not referring to a command. I'm not sure what it could be. But basically what we've got is we've got a write, and then we've got the file name here with a / before it. And we can take a look at this a little bit closer to see what's in here, but it's just the entire contents of that user.ini file. I believe this is a starter frame and this is an end of frame, which the printer is watching for, and it strips those off when it sees them. So we've got our Z offset has changed to 1. The rest of the file is the same. What's interesting is I'm not sure what this 61 here is for. When I ran this earlier, actually we could take a look at that. It was a 62, which shows up in ASCII as a B. So let's open this and we'll see what we've got here. So yeah, here we've got 63, 62. So that was different. I wonder if we change it again, if we'll get a different value. So let's go ahead and stop this capture and save. And we'll call this, Z offset number 2. Whoops. Save that. And then we're going to go ahead and start it again. And so we've got our capture going. I'm going to go back into Preform if my printer or my computer hasn't just frozen. Come on. Okay, there we go. Fine tuning. Now let's change it to, let's just put it at some other random value. And over here, let's see here. What did we see? 63 and 64. See, I don't think this other one is actually a command. Let's see what that is in the command list. If it makes any sense. Delete file. I just don't think it's deleting a file or closing the SD storage when it's doing this. So I don't actually know what that other byte is here. But we do see a write, and we see the file name. Then we see a bunch of blank space, and then we see our user.ini file. So I think that it would be possible to recreate this. Let's see here. What else do we have? So here we've got a 63, which is a write, so it's saying that it's writing the user.ini file, and then here's the host saying read it, which is a 62, and then here you've got the read output of the file. So I think that with this first command here, I think we could just copy this and change the z offset, and that would result in a change to the user.ini file without pulling the card from the printer. That'd be pretty interesting. I think that we're onto something here. So we'll see what happens when we try to send that command.